In this lecture, we're going to solve the equations using the zero product property. For the zero product property, you must have two factors set equal to 0. So here's our first factor, x plus 3. Here's our second factor, x minus 4. And then they're equal to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each factor and set it equal to 0. So x plus 3 equals 0 and x minus 4 equals 0. So now I need to solve both equations for x. So for the first one, I am going to subtract 3 from both sides. So then x equals negative 3. And then for the second equation, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So then x equals 4. So my solutions to this first equation are x equals negative 3 and x equals 4. For the next example, I also have two factors set equal to 0. The first factor is 2x minus 6, and the second factor is going to be x plus 9. And notice that they are both set equal to 0. So I'm going to take the first factor, 2x minus 6, set it equal to 0, and x plus 9, and set it equal to 0. Now I'm going to solve both equations. So for the first one, I'm going to add 6 to both sides, and I get 2x equals 6. Then I divide by 2, so x equals 3. For the last one, I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides, so x equals negative 9. For the third example, I want you to notice that it is set equal to 0, but do I have two factors? Well, the answer is no. So what I need to do is take my expression of x squared minus 49, and I need to factor it. So thinking back to what we've already done, I recognize that this I can factor using difference of squares. So I'm going to go ahead and make my parentheses. So I have x, and then to get 49 I have 7 times 7, and then plus and minus. Now don't forget to bring down that equals 0. So now I have two different factors. I have x plus 7, and then I also have x minus 7. So I'm going to take each factor and set it equal to 0. So x plus 7 equals 0, and x minus 7 equals 0. Then I'm going to solve each one of them. So if I subtract 7 here, I get x equals negative 7 for one of my values. And then here, I add 7. So I get x equals 7. So my solutions are x equals negative 7 and x equals 7. Now for the last example. The big thing I notice is that this does not equal 0. So what I need to do is make it equal 0. So I have 18, so I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides, and I'm going to get x squared plus 7x minus 18 equals 0. Now, I actually need to factor this. I need to factor the x squared plus 7x minus 18. Well, I recognize that I can factor this using sum products. So I'm going to find the factors of 18, which are 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Well, 2 and 9 combine to get 7. So my factors are going to be x and 2, x and 9. To get a positive 7, I have 9 minus 2. Now that I have two factors, my first one being x minus 2, and my second one being x plus 9, I need to set both of these equal to 0. So I have x minus 2 equals 0, and x plus 9 equals 0. To solve it, I add 2 for this one, so x equals 2. And then for my last equation, I have to subtract 9. So I have x equals negative 9. So my two solutions are going to be x equals 2 and x equals negative 9.